Today I want to talk about family. Why? It's not because I don't have better topics. It's because lately I have observed a few of my friends when they mention about their family, I can see they are a little like I can see some uncomfortable feeling or expressions, or their face already showing some tensions, like towards their family, like the relationship with their family for sure is not really that ideal or not that pleasant. It's especially in Chinese family, it's kind of normal for us that, of course in between siblings or relatives or parents will have some tensions. Of course there we would not like saying I love you, or I appreciate you, or I support you, or I'll be here for you, I'll listen to you. This kind of positive or supportive words for us Chinese we rarely use in families. Even outside we are not used to use them. If you're not being brought up here, if you come from a traditional Chinese background, these words are really embarrassed for us to mention it, to say it from our mouth. We're not used to use this word, and we would not like to let them know that we are not doing well. We would not like to let them know that we are upset, we are happy, or we're not happy, or weak. So we have a lot of expectations toward ourselves, that how we should behave and look like, and then maybe we have to be successful or somehow because we're comparing with them. I came from a very traditional family. I was being brought up in a very traditional setting and conditions, environment. My parents never ever give me any appreciation nor compliments. Never ever. And so my whole family being brought up like this, so we never have the culture that we support each other verbally. We never have the culture that we would appreciate each other, and instead we always pick on each other. No matter how good or no matter what happened, we always find something to pick on each other. But what is good about us is deep in our heart we love each other. Instead of some family, you heard a lot of stories like they fight, they hate each other. But we do love each other deep in our hearts. So I was a very suppressive person and a very no confidence, zero self-confidence and like full of self-doubt, whatever you can call it. But not until after my first critical point was my dad passed away. So at that time I realized that you know what, life is just too short. When people's gone, they're gone. Like they will never come back, and you will never ever be able to say anything, any words, or show any appreciation, or even say sorry, or do anything to that person. Never ever again. So what's the point of being afraid of making mistakes if I really want to tell that person I love him or whatever? So after he passed away, not too while ago, after I finally realized that was the truth, that he will be forever gone, then I thought a lot. I thought I had been thinking a lot that, I was very regretful that a lot of things that I haven't done when he was still available. But I did do something silly when he was still there. For example, I wrote him a letter. Something like that, something silly, which I thought, you know what, I really appreciate myself. I have done those things, although that was very silly. And both of us were very embarrassed when I initiated those actions, when I did those things. But that was so nice. It was embarrassed because we were so uncomfortable and not used to it, but we felt love and authenticity like deep in our hearts. And we really appreciate that moment, although he kind of brushed me off and like, go away, things like that. But I knew that he was happy, and I was very happy. And so So I realized that it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter the way you do it, or is it right or wrong. What matters is, like, is that something makes you feel good? Is that something that create positive energy or create positive feelings between the relationships? So then I start to, so imagine, since I'm conscious, since I was conscious when I was a kid, like when I was a baby, of course I didn't know that. I remember my mom never hugged me, of course never say I love you or something like that, not like Western family, never ever, not even hold my hand or like put his arm around me or whatever, things like that, never ever. Imagine that how not close we were. But after I have acknowledged and realized how short and how fragile the life is, how fragile life is, I began to do things that I felt like I should do. I really wanted to. I began to be able to not worry too much about the consequences or results. Of course, like in a good way, right? Not trying to rob a bank and not worry about the consequences. But but I'm saying that, like, in regarding to express yourself to people. So I start to be closer to my mom and start to, like, kind of put my arms around her sometimes. And even though just like this, we were very uncomfortable because we never done that, and he was a little shocked, I could see, that I did that to her. But later on, like when we got used to it, and I start to hug her, I really hug her, and I felt so freaking good. It was so freaking awkward, but I felt so freaking good. And then we never called each other before, like through the phone or whatever. Only like some matters we need to deal with, but we never call each other just to chat or whatever. And I did, like, so I start calling her and say something random, whatever. It doesn't matter what he's talking about. The matter is you share the times with her. And I start to, a couple years ago, and I start to say I love her in front of her, like just in front of her, but not in front of other family member. Alexa, stop. All right. So, but then I being more and more comfortable, and I said I love her in front of my whole family. I would do that. I would like to make an example. You're gonna love the person you love. You're gonna care the person you care about when they are still available, because they will be gone anytime. You don't have to wait until they're 60 years old, 80 years old, 90 years old. People could be gone anytime, and that would be too late. Like, why people all of a sudden they could drop everything, drop all the tension they had, drop all the ego they had, or drop all the little needles, like it was planted like way ahead from since 1995 between that person, when that person was suddenly being told that they only have 3 months left, and you were standing in front of their bed, and suddenly you could drop everything, all your ego, and then be able to talk to them like authentically, and then be real and cry and whatever, and hug that person. Why you have to wait until that moment? Don't wait. Some people don't even have that moment. They could be gone just all of a sudden in a car crash, which I heard a lot about these stories. Like when I had a business before, once in a while, like people come to my place to wash their car before they go into a funeral. Like their friend just passed away suddenly all the time. And even though, like, especially nowadays, people being told by their doctor, just 3 weeks ahead that they only have 3 weeks left. Don't wait. If you really care about them, either your parents, your sibling, whoever, or your partners, your kids, and there is something you would like to say, or there's something that in between you guys that happened 20 years, 30 years, or 2 days ago, and which you feel pity, and then it's right here. Please, don't convince yourself not to communicate with that person anymore. Don't convince yourself not to pick up the phone or not to initiate a conversation first. Because why me? Why that was his mistakes? Like why he did that to me? Why he treated me like that? Why he behaved that way? Why he didn't, satisfy me? Why? Asking all those questions, and then it's all about that person's mistake. Why I should forgive him? It's not forgiving him. It's forgiving yourself. It's forgiving yourself. To believe me, when you are able to drop your ego, it's a relief for yourself, and then nothing will stop you from, building a new connections again. You don't need to clear whatever it happened before in order to build a real relationship. Your focus should right away shift to what is in the future for you, not what's in the past. If you really want to deal with that, you don't just pick up the phone and say, you know what, I know that, it's always in between us what happened 20 years ago, and I'm really sorry about it. It's not like saying sorry doesn't mean that and you admit that you were wrong. You're just sorry that, you haven't really faced it or deal with it or be generous or be open for all these years. You really feel sorry that you're missing good moment for all these years that you guys could share time. Whoever's willing to apologize, or whoever willing to let go first, you're the winner. And the whole point is not to win. The whole point is to really treasure people that are placed in your life. Every relationship, no matter good or bad, which I don't believe there's bad relationship, that is something you should learn. It's not that someone wants to put a bad person in front of you, try to trick you or make your life worse or whatever. It's a lesson. They put that person in front of you. It's a lesson. Life is not about what happened to you. Like there are good and bad, whatever, all those things, up and down, embarrassed, all those moments, all those different kind of scenarios, different things. It's really creative. Like the creator is really creative. Always put something interesting in front of you, creative. Oh my God, I can't believe what this happened to me, or things like that. Yeah, isn't it cool? You can't believe it. I mean, wow, it's out of your imagination. That's just really cool. So something new you can learn. If the same thing happened to you in your life, that means that you haven't learned. That's why it has been placed in front of you time after time, because you haven't learned. Not until you learn how to react to it, how to learn how to transcend what's from it, it will still keep happening in your life. Believe me, if you're able to let go, if you're able to stand out and look at the whole situation and to be able to deal with your emotion, to be able to look at all those events, lightly, and even though it happens to you again, it's a totally different result. It would be a totally different result, and you'll find out that wouldn't happen to you anymore, and then something new would come up, which you can have another chance. Another thing to learn is like playing like room escape. You wouldn't want to keep playing the same room and same game and solving the same puzzle again and again. That's why life is creative. You're always being placed into a different room. But if you haven't finished solving this room, you'll be stuck there forever. So this is your challenge. Please go out and express yourself and present yourself and being vulnerable, being open to people you love and you care about. And there's nothing wrong being vulnerable. No one is perfect. Not in front of your friend, not even your partner, especially not even your kids. Don't present yourself as a perfect person or parent. And definitely not in front of your parent. Did I mention parents yet? And not in front of your partners. You are not a perfect person. And you gotta let them know and be vulnerable, be open that here I am. I'm not perfect, but this is who I am. And then that's it. Oh, Michael. Yes, Michael, you called me last night, and I said, I'm going to put you at the spot on my video, but I didn't use the video last night. It wasn't good. So now you're at the spot, and I put you at last. That means you have to finish watching the video in order to find yourself. So I kept my promise.